BTB listeners, thank you so much for joining today's episode. When you get a chance, take 5 seconds to like and subscribe to the BTB Project. Better yet, if this episode is something that impacts you, share it with a family member or friend. It's you as the listener who's been able to help me grow this podcast and be on mission to help people become the strongest version of themselves and help them aspire to become what they're built to be. Today's guest is an exciting one. I have former world number one and current professional tennis coach, Oliver Marach. Oliver's tennis career is nothing but inspirational. From major championships to winning 23 ATP doubles titles, he has tremendous insight on the importance of hard work, on the importance of resilience, and him reflecting on his career, I know, is going to impact you as the listener.
It's nice to win tournaments, Australian Open, etc., all the little ones, but playing for your country, Davis Cups, and as you said, the Olympic Games, that's something over the top. I mean, that's the best. For me, I will never forget my home ties. I mean, I get goosebumps. I was so lucky. I would never change that for anything. That's just goosebumps.
What are you built to be? What are you built to become? The time is now. The time is right now. You weren't built to break. You were built to be something greater. Welcome to Season 2 of the BTB Project. I'm your host, Coleman Gearhart. I was an overweight kid, the one counted out, lost 100 pounds, found purpose in the pain, and turned my setbacks into a story worth telling. This podcast isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. It's about identity, discipline, and comebacks. Getting up one more time and becoming who we're always meant to be. If you're ready to go deep, do the work, and live out what you're built to be, you're in the right place. Let's lock in, let's rise, and let's get to work. Well, it's another extraordinary day here on the BTB Project as I yet again have a full circle moment. The gentleman that is joining me today is not only one of the best doubles players of all time, in my opinion, but is also one of the best doubles coaches of all time. And I remember a pretty nice day, fall day here in Colorado, that I walked to my high school tennis practice, and all of a sudden I got a former ATP world legend helping a couple friends on the tennis courts. And nonetheless, this gentleman is not only the 2018 Australian Open doubles champion, also represented his country of Austria in Davis Cup, the Olympics, and spent a lot of time winning finals, getting to a lot of finals. And I cannot wait for him to share his story. Oliver Marach, welcome to the BTB Project.
Hello, nice to meet you. How are you? All good?
Well, coming from Panama, man, I know that the weather and demographic is a little bit better than what you were seeing in New York a couple days ago. But could you fill the listeners in on what it's like to come back from a tough tournament? You know, a second round loss is not what you want as a coach or as a player, but ultimately what that life is like going from coach mode back to family mode.
Well, sometimes it's more hectic when you come home because I have 2 kids, 2 daughters, and they are fanatic flag football players. So coming home, say hello quick to everybody. Next day, right away, 4 final matches in flag football, driving around. But I love it. I love to see my kids doing sports. Because I'm a tennis player, I never push them, for example, to say, hey, I have to play tennis. They tried it out. They didn't like it so much. But one rule of my family is you have to do a sport. You need it for your health in general. So I said, please choose a sport. At the beginning, I started soccer. And now the little one plays soccer and flag, and my tall one play flag. So yeah, they love it. They're also good at it, so I'm very happy when I come back.
Yeah, it's really fascinating to see here in the States how popular girls' flag football has become. And based off of what you've experienced with your own daughters, you see a lot of excitement with the sports. Can you speak to where you see this progressing for your girls?
Yes, I mean it's gonna be Olympic already in the next one in Los Angeles. I think it's in most of the high schools, if I'm not wrong, and in the future I can totally see it in the colleges. Now also a world tour championship where even I saw an Austrian team is competing, which I was very surprised of. I didn't even know, but worldwide catching more and more attention. So in the future, I can see it maybe financially, I would say not like American football, but it will for sure have big footprints in America, because what I heard so far is that the American football players who didn't do it in the big league, they transfer also in flag football now. So they're gonna raise even the bar in that sport.
Segueing from flag football to a sport that has meant a lot to you and I, tennis, the beginnings of your career being from Austria. And I'm just curious what allowed you to be involved in this sport, have it become part of your life, and what it was like in your childhood trying to develop your game.
Well, my whole family played tennis, but I would say more for fun. I started it. I was 6 years old. Went to these kids courses, how everybody do, and I got at the beginning I had a Croatian coach, so and he defined my technique. I would say I played both backhands, so I played the single and the two-handed backhand, and I couldn't decide. And then he told me, well, it's time to decide for one shot. You cannot play both. That's not possible. So, and then I decided for the one-handed backhand at these times. If you ask me now, I would teach everybody two-handed backhand, because I just think a two-handed backhand is better in general in tennis. If you look mainly at the list of tennis players, how many still play one-handed backhand, a good one, we have to say, and a two-handed backhand. Then yeah, I got 10, I played tournaments. We had 3 categories. One tournament was like you had your fitness part, then your mini tennis part, and then your normal tennis court, right? And I was very good always in athleticism because I was very fast and agile. So most of the time I won that part. In mini tennis, I always had a good touch. I won that, but in the big court, I was probably never good till I got 16, 17.
Mm.
And of course, a lot of like everybody has naysayers. They say, "Oh, you will never be a tennis player," and this. But inside me, I always kept on fighting, and getting better. Didn't listen to the others, and with 13, 14, around this age, I was really bad. I have to say, I was not a great tennis player. I was in my region in Austria. I was maybe 6, and in total, Austria was number 20, 30, or whatever. And with 17. I will never forget the time I came back from a satellite with my coach, and in singles I didn't do anything, and in doubles we made 2 ATP points. As a 2, that's nothing, but that's the beginning. This is how you start. And then Günther
Right.
Presnik, which was the former coach of Dominic Thiem, he invited me for a Davis Cup practice to Vienna, and I said, of course I will go. First time I was there, and he gave me a coach. His name was Karl Klasek. He was from Carinthia. It's another part of Austria. And just for me, practice 1 week. But I have to tell you, they literally kicked my ass. I played 5, 6 hours tennis a day for 1 week. Never played that in my life. I
Wow.
was dead. I didn't know you can practice so hard. It was crazy. I mean, in that 1 week, something clicked at me. I come home and I didn't lose to anybody anymore. I don't know what happened. In Austria, we have this exam in school. It's called Matura. It's like the final exam, 18, before you go to university. I went to my father. I say, "Hey, I will never forget. Hey, Dad, I think I'm playing pretty well tennis right now. Maybe I can skip that exam right now, and we go now for some tournaments and see how it is because I can do the exam 1 year later." And then my father was so nice and said, "Okay, let's go to the school." I went to a special sports school where I'm from. I said, "There, no problem. You can do this exam 1 year later. Let's see how you do." And then, yeah, I was going fast. I mean, in half a year was 400 ATP. But then I got a nerve impingement in the shoulder.
Ugh.
I couldn't play backhand, nothing. Had several doctors. Everybody said something different from patience till that and that and that. So you lose also trust. You don't know what to do. And I had to go to Germany, and the physio from the VfB Stuttgart football team, he told me, "Look, it's gonna take long. You have to work every day, but you build up all the muscles around your shoulder and you're gonna be fine."
Interesting dynamic here, Oliver,
Yeah,
with
yeah,
how your career started with people doubting your ability to play the game of tennis, to
exactly.
then developing the skill set and acumen to come hot out of the gate from your country, to then be dealing with injuries and having to feel the effects of trying to fight back from that. But in the middle of it, here you are developing resiliency, playing 6, 7 hours a day in an academy setting. Can you speak to whether it's the doubters or the injuries? How much has the resiliency piece still been a part of your life, not just as a player, but also as a coach?
Yeah, it has to be. My big believing in me is if you can't work hard, you're not gonna do it. You can't be as talented as you want. I think talent right now is even a deficit nowadays because you get lazy. And if you are not willing to put these seconds, hours, or days in of work every day, back in, back out, you're not gonna have the success. And if you just drop a little bit, and I see it in doubles extremely, you cannot drop 5-10%. Yeah. If you have to bring always your 100%. Sometimes you win matches easier if you bring it, but you have to bring it. If you go less, every match is close, even with the format what we have, I don't know, 15 years now with the champions tiebreak and all that, that's casino. So and mainly if you look, the teams who win the most matches, who have more confidence, they most likely win it. Also the good teams. But you have to be on the top. You cannot take out. I see it also now. I mean, it's said that my team now they haven't played that great the last weeks. I know they are one of the best out there if they connect together. When you fall on the nose, you have to right away stand up, know what to do, work on the deficits, and get back on track. You cannot allow catching that because time passes fast. You can get fast up, but more fast down.
Thinking back on your career, it's stunning to me to look at all the matches you played, particularly in finals, when you're talking about the mindset aspect and having to be on top of your game. Like when I scroll through your matches, man, most of these are 3-set matches. And as you mentioned, most of them are now this breaker format. I even look at the most recent tournament where you were coaching at the US Open. I mean, you guys lost in 3, but how do you keep your head up in this sport when it is literally a critical point here or there that determines the outcome of winning a tournament or losing a tournament?
As a coach, it's very tough to see it outside. That's the different side for me now. When I play, I prefer playing. Yeah, I mean, that's doubles right now. This is since years like that. You have to deal with it. You must have that warrior mindset. You cannot take out. You must go for the shots, and mainly you see if you have teams who really win a lot of matches. Of course, there comes a day, but you saw it now this year in Kash and Glasgow. I think they are really dangerous new team. They have great serve, first and second serve. They improve a lot, and they play their stuff. down, and they win a lot of matches and they win a lot of Champions Directs. They're really team to watch out. I mean, they're anyway number one in the world now. Now is the final Granollers Bios against Salisbury Skupski, two great teams. I think Salisbury won US Open 3 times already in a row. And I mean, Granollers Bios this year for me, one of the best doubles teams anyway, because they just play a few weeks always in the year. They never play the full calendar. I mean, Granollers was injured. Now he didn't play for 1 month. He come back to US Open and then the final. I mean, that shows how good they are. That's an advantage. Now, if you're great singles guys before and you're a great doubles team, that helps you also, I have to say. Very, very good. Very good. Especially in key moments, they know what they do. They go for it. They are not defensive. They play their stuff down. That's what I like in a doubles team.
Take me back to the moment here, I believe it was about a year ago, where you were able to do something that I believe no human being has ever done, which is you were at one point number one in the world as a doubles player, to then becoming a coach of your former partner who you were number one in the world with, who then becomes number one in the world with another partner, and you're coaching. What was it like for you, man, to have that full circle moment of as much as we're talking about the trials and tribulations and hardships of what comes with being a tennis player, being a coach, when you're on that type of mountaintop, man, what does it make you reflect on as far as the journey?
Mm, of course, was very emotional in that moment, very proud of. I never celebrate, I would say, myself, what I've achieved. I'm always someone who loves to work hard and see the results, what you do in the players when, they have their success. So that makes me most proud of, because I know we did a good job. And that's where I was in this moment yesterday, last year. I remember it was amazing. I was really happy, especially for these two. I mean, the year was, I have to say, I don't even think Matt expected it, because I still remember I finished in 2021 my career, and then I was 2 years home, and end of 23, he called me up. I was surprised if I can help him out. I said, okay, let's see, because I didn't know. I didn't coach in doubles. I mean, I have a lot of experience and I'm a very tactical guy. I was working hard all the time in my life. I know I could help him, but I didn't know how it would work out at this moment. So at the beginning, I also needed a few weeks, how it is, how I have to talk with him. I haven't seen him in a long time. Since we started, he played very consistently till the end of the year, and then he started with Arevalo. And at the beginning, I have to say, I could see in the first week, okay, they won the first week in Hong Kong. I could see, wow, they can play well, but I have to see how they play against the top teams, because Hong Kong was a 250, not every top team there. And then throughout the Australian Open, we lost third round against Kravitz Butz, which is for me also one unbelievable team. And they basically kick our ass. And I saw where are we weak. And on that things we tried to work on. We didn't play great till Monte Carlo. That's quite some weeks still after also. Still going there, but was working on the setbacks. What can we do better? A lot of talking, and finally I said, guys, it looks good. We just need matches. We need matches to win, and then the machine will roll, trust me. And this is how it played out. Then in Monte Carlo, they lost semi-final with match points serving for the match. Barcelona, they lost semi-final, set and 3-1 break up. I said, yeah, okay, guys. But now we are more in the aggressive side. We're leading, we're losing, but it's coming. We won 4 matches, we won 3 matches, so we're getting there. And then boom, Sundays they start a roll, final Rome, win Geneva, win French Open, grass court season. I mean, I know that Arevalo was his most favorite surface was not grass court, but so look at that. So and I think before he didn't win so much not a lot on grass. With that confidence building up from before, that's what I told you. Final, they started in Queens, semifinal, final, Eastbourne, and quarterfinal in Wimbledon, which is quite good for a guy who doesn't like it. So I was really happy with the result. And then after they continued, Mate got a baby at this time. So they just played Shanghai. And end of the year, we had again a little bit, I would say, we didn't win so many matches. It was just for 2 weeks, and we were fighting for number one spot with Tobias Canales because they played also very well. It was up in Turin where we were equal almost, and we had to see how we do. And I remember because we lost our first match, and we had to win the second one to have a chance to be group up. And then suddenly the guys win somehow the second match. And they went to the finals against the lost close to Kravitz Boots. They secured the number one spot year end, which I was really happy because they deserved it. We're happy we could lift it, or they could lift that trophy. I don't lift the trophy. I was just happy to be on the side. And it was an amazing moment. I will never forget that. Yeah.
I mean, your connection obviously with Monte and the success that you guys had as a team, it
I
just
know him
had to
well.
yeah. And I
Yeah.
mean, that's what I want to dive into is communication, relationship, chemistry. As a coach myself, when I'm trying to put together doubles teams, I'm looking for those types of things. But knowing the relationship you have with him, I mean, maybe walk me through the beginning of when you knew that this guy would be a good fit for you to play doubles together. And do you still tap into those same communication and chemistry traits that you use as a coach now to help him with his partner?
It's a crazy story because I got together with Mate. I got dumped from one partner I played with before. So, and then it was in Miami, Miami Open time. So I had nobody to play in Miami. Mate quit with someone, and we saw, he's available. We could play. We didn't play well at the beginning. Now comes the crazy story. We said we're gonna play till Wimbledon, and we played honestly. If I tell you, I don't know, a semi-final or final in the 250 was the best till that time. What we played, that's nothing. We were top 30 this time both, so was not great results. And we sit down in Stuttgart and we say, listen, we said we're gonna play till Wimbledon, and then we split up after. I said, okay, no problem. Like, we didn't fight about this. We saw the results are not there. Nobody wants that harms in any way that if we don't play well. We start playing. He on grass court also didn't win anything before, maybe one time third round in my life. Playing Stuttgart, losing final. I got a injury in my wrist, an inflammation. Skipped then Halle because I had pain. I couldn't play. Then went to Antalya. That's the week before Wimbledon. Play final again with Mate. I couldn't hold the racket anymore. I could just serve, play one return. That's it. I had so much pain. Had to retire in the final. I told Mate because Wimbledon has at these times they had qualis. So we entered already. So he could not play Wimbledon if I don't play with him because alternate because they had qualis gets in. He could not replace with somebody else.
Oh,
So I said,
geez.
Mate, listen, I will fly quick to my doctor in Germany who injects. His name is Gumbela. Everybody goes there. Only chance. He can heal me fast there. I try it out. I fly there. I come back, do this treatment, come back, work with 2 physios in Wimbledon. Do not hit a ball. Do not hit the ball till my first match. Just I don't even know if I warm up in the morning. I don't think I warm up. I just warm up in the match. I don't remember exactly anymore. I warm up. Yeah, feels okay. Okay, we play. Win in 2 sets. We played against Kravitz, Selenai. I think it was Kravitz, Selenai first match, which are not bad. Kravitz, I know topped out, and Selenai was also a good grass court player at this time.
Yeah.
I won in 2 sets, and I said, "Oh, it's pretty good to my wrist now." And then next match, pain-free, unbelievable draw. We should play third round against Herbert Mahut, and they lost to a wild card. Willis and Clark. We played a crazy match against Mektic and Skugor. 15-30 in the fifth. You have so much energy. You're not really tired because you're like so pumped. I mean, who would think that I would be in Wimbledon final? I mean, I'm grass court player. I always thought I'd do a barbecue on grass court. That's it, because I was really not a specialist there. So final was also crazy against Kubot Melo. They were also unbelievable at this time on grass court. They win all the tournaments on grass. So before, and we were the second best grass court team what we had in results. And we lost against them. It was a tough match. We lost close. It was in the fifth also, 5 hours match. They had to close the roof. And we 15 minutes break. We come back, 5 minutes finish. That was a
Oh,
pity.
goodness.
That was a pity. Yeah, but Mate was, I mean, of course, I was also down, but Mate was crying. I tried to pull him out because the people really loved that match. It was amazing rallies. It was a really great match. And then I told Mate after that, so what we do now, we split up because we are number 9 in the race. I mean, come on, man. Because we had set up partners. I should play with Philipp Oswald, is an Austrian guy. We said we're gonna play in Gstaad and in Kitzbühel, and Mate with Dodik, with his Croatian friend, also great player, Hamburg and Washington. I say, so what we do? Yeah, okay, I think we have to stay together. So I say, okay, so let me quick speak with Oswald, because I cannot play in Europe, and after is Montreal 1,000 event on clay to hardcore. And I speak with Oswald. Look, I'm very sorry. This is a special. Now I didn't expect this happen, but I'm with Mate playing for the Masters. I'm
Mm.
playing with you. I'm playing with you the first tournament because it was right away after Wimbledon. I didn't do any break. I play with you this, but I cannot play with you, Kitzbühel. I'm really sorry because he's a very good friend of mine, very nice guy. But I have to go to Washington to prepare for Montreal because I will play with Mate already there. So what happens is then Mate go to Hamburg with Dodik. He win Hamburg. I go with Oswald to Gstaad. I win Gstaad.
Wow.
I was amazing. I mean, I was just playing, not thinking. Everything was working. Really, I mean, when you have this confidence, it's like it plays alone. You don't think in that, and that's the advantage. That's why I say if you build up confidence, you just play. It's working. You just go for it. Of course,
Right.
there comes a time you're gonna lose. It happens, but most of the time it works out. Yeah, U.S. Open. Mate came to me. I said, "Hey, I have maybe coach for us." Um, It was from Zimonich, a coach, it was John Farrington. He was working with the Bryan brothers and everybody else. I said, we can try him out. And I always open because I never had a doubles coach. And so we asked him, and then we started actually in Stockholm. And from Stockholm on, we had the craziest run ever till next year, Rotterdam. We win Stockholm. We go to Vienna. In Vienna, we play a semifinal. Had to retire because I had get my back problem again because I damaged this. Then we met in London, and we got in there alternate last call against the Bryan brothers. But we had confidence like hell. We didn't lose a match. I mean, we had already 8 matches in a row or 9 matches in a row. Didn't lose it because I retired. I couldn't play the one. And we played an unbelievable match against them, winning 2 sets, Matt and me. So that was the 9th. And then again, the whole winter, then was preparation time. I felt my back again.
Oh,
I had no preseason. I was 3 weeks injecting. at the doctor. I told my wife, What shall I do, baby? I don't know what to do. I just got my injection. I should go to Doha with Mate." She said, "Just go there when it's hot. You always like the hot weather. You will be fine. Go there." Okay, so we go there, meet the coach. We practice 2 days to the tournament. We play Doha. We win the tournament, not losing a set. We fly quick to Auckland, which is a crazy flight, 1 day preparation. We win Auckland, fly to Australia, win the Australian Open. From Australian Open directly to Davis Cup to Austria back.
Jeez.
Won the Davis Cup. From Davis Cup directly to Rotterdam. And in Rotterdam, it was a little bit bad luck because I got the food poisoning in quarterfinal, but with that confidence because we didn't do so much for, I don't know, 20 wins, 19 wins.
Wow.
And in the final, we lost to also one of the best teams ever, Mahut, amazing team, and we lost in the Champions tiebreak, but we've lost the final. So we had really an unbelievable run. In doubles, when you catch that wave with confidence, winning a lot of matches can go far long.
Well, yeah, and especially when you're under that adversity of the back and the wrist and these
Yeah.
various injuries to keep your enthusiasm. It stems back from a lot of those foundational building blocks that you had in place as a junior, where you develop that resiliency to overcome whether it's a difficult match or a
It's more
circumstance.
mindset. I think it helped me,
100%.
these naysayers. And I always, when I had a problem, an injury, I wanted to get like stronger back. And I think I would love to know how these top three guys think, because that's another level. I think this must be unbelievable. Like a Sinner, Alcaraz, Djokovic, Federer, Nadal. That must be Andy Murray. Also, there's so many. I don't wanna. There's so many good ones out there. Sorry, who I forget. But this one, that would interest me, because I'm so far. I consider myself, I was not mentally strong, like super strong. I played singles also there. For me, I failed, but I would love to know how they feel, how they think. This is something. Oh, I would pay a lot.
We talked about obviously your success as a player on the world stage for the ATP, what you've done as a coach. I want to talk about your country in the Olympic stage in two Olympics. Knowing everything you've been through and how much your country means to you, what did that moment mean?
It's nice to win tournaments, Australian Open, etc., all the little ones, but playing for your country and Davis Cups, and as you said, the Olympic Games, that's something over the top. I mean, that's the best for me. I will never forget my home ties. I get goosebumps. I was really so lucky. I'm from Graz, from Styria, and we played the Davis Cup in Graz, so against Uruguay. And I was so happy I took them, because they saw that how that is, and they were so amazed. Of course, when you win it, it's 10 times better. The kids were with me on the court, everybody in the court, the people, behind you. It's an amazing atmosphere. I would never change that for anything. That's just goosebumps. And the Olympics, the first one was for me in Rio. It was just amazing to see all these athletes in this huge village, and I'm a huge fan of the athletics, to see these guys. I think in both Olympics, it was amazing. For me, it's something I will always remember in my life. The one in Tokyo at the end, it was a little bit sad, with all the restrictions.
Yeah.
But what do you wanna do? I also said I missed London, because I could play in London too, but I was injured at that time, so that was a little bit tough. Would be my third, but it's okay. I mean, I'm happy I was at least in one. See all the athletes from Austria. Always nice to see the team. I know the whole team, amazing people. I want to thank them also for these moments. They were amazing for me.
Being able to reflect back not only on the moments that you got to play at the highest level, but this word mindset that you said, from coach to coach, I have to know, man, if you were able to sit down with that 14, 15-year-old version of yourself when you were really starting to take off in your tennis career, knowing what you know now about mental toughness, and I know you mentioned Alcaraz and Sinner and Roger, like what are these guys thinking to perform at the level that they perform at? But if you think back to what you know now, what's something that you would share with that younger version of yourself to help build mental toughness earlier rather than later?
Fitness. The fitness is another level nowadays. It's Of course, when we played, we didn't have that knowledge. It's always tennis. I lived through three generations now. When Beckham, these guys stopped, I saw them a little bit. Then I had Roger, Djokovic, Nadal, all these guys. I played with them challengers. Now the new guys, I also see them. And the fitness is just one thing which kept growing the most for me, because for me, I think, because maybe not everybody thinks, if you're fit like these guys, you're mentally automatically fit. If you know you can run your whole match, they are automatically better. You're automatically better. And this is what these guys do. If you look at them, I mean, I don't need to talk about Alcaraz, how he moves, because that's another level. But most of the guys, they work out much more. They do the fitness part, because everybody can play tennis. Now the shots and this. When I played, I could say everybody has a weak shot. Yeah, he's bad on the backhand. He has this weakness. He has this weakness. But that's nowadays. That's not anymore. Everybody hits the ball hard, good, fast. But the fitness for me is one of the things who picked up the most in the last years. Of course, mental is always important in tennis. Will be always good. But this one is yeah, has evolved a lot.
With that said, obviously the fitness side is huge because it also prevents injuries. Based off of what you've learned with your various injuries to helping as a coach now, your players preventing injuries. What are some things going on right now as far as I know you mentioned some folks in Germany getting a shot, but as far as the proactive measures that players are taking today that you wish you had 10, 15 years ago?
I mean, that's a short-term solution, right? Let's say you're fighting for the finals at the end of the year. You cannot just make a break. And if you have a little problem, you try your fast solution. Is it healthy for your body all the time getting injections? No, it's not. Yeah, but if you're playing for big money, if you're playing for points, you want to be on the top, yeah, you have to sacrifice this. It depends how long you want to play, honestly. Singles guys, yeah, some stop before 30, some go till 38, as we see now. Some, yeah, it depends. How is your body? Because everybody's different. Some are like that, some are like big masters. They need to recover differently, like a lot do ice bath after the matches, biking out, stretching. Also, nutrition is different nowadays as before. You take care of the food. Um, yeah, it's there's a lot of things you can adapt to, but for me, you have to look at everybody individually. A lot of coaches before, I don't know nowadays, but they have their training system, and you it's good that they push it in, but you also have to listen. And that's what I also, at the beginning, I did maybe wrong, but I also listened to my player, and he also come up with his things. And you have to learn each other's gift, and that's very important. And you cannot also push what you know and he knows to everybody else. Because if you have two individual players, let's say the one is a service volley player and the other one plays from the back, you must find the happy medium, what they can do together, but then you need to take them also separately and work on their strengths and also weakness separately. So that's something, yeah, you have to know, you have to develop, and yeah, that's very important. The other thing is the age. Your body changes with 30, I would say, and then you have to sometimes do maybe more in injury prevention, mobility, and that as hard fitness, weights, or whatever. You have to mix it up and see how your body is evolving, what is changing. Yeah, and must be willing to add new things. But because a lot of players think they know everything, or because they were so successful in this. But I always say you always need to be able to adapt and also to receive new information. Try it out. Try it out. If you don't like it, okay, no problem. But maybe if you like it, we did something good. It's working, you know. So that's important.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying as a coach that the skill set of listening is sometimes not tapped into enough, that
Not at all.
people are always coached at, not coached with, where it's a collaboration of you receiving information and adapting and adjusting to that individual player. And that's a skill set that I've had to learn over the years, and I appreciate you tapping into that. But ultimately, I got a couple more for you here, Oliver, and I'm just
Mhm.
curious to see if this is a small world. But I see on here that you got to visit Delray Beach a few times to play the 250, one of which I believe was a final with Fabrice Martin against Bob and Mike Bryan,
That's another
13-11
crazy
at the,
story.
yeah, 13-11. I'm curious if you knew my former coach from my tennis academy, Robert Wojcik, who was the director of tennis in Delray. And secondly, what, was that, tournament like for you, man?
Yeah, Delray, I know it very well because it's a nice street there with nice restaurants. Yeah, that was also crazy because I played with Fabrice at in this year, and we played the Bryan brothers, and I say, oh shit, yeah, Bryan brothers. My first 10 times, Bryan brothers was a no go. They kicked my ass. So let's see how it is. I win one time with Tipsarevic. Then I woke up with 40 fever, 40 degrees fever.
Oh, gee.
Almost, I think that's 100.
The
So
conversion, yeah, yep.
yeah, it was a tough morning. Doctors say don't play because we had 30 degrees, 32 degrees. And of course, me being crazy, I say, I don't care. I go out, it's a final. And I don't know what I did. I don't know what happened, but I just went all full in. So I served first serve, second serve, the same speed. I went for everything. I mean, we played really well, but Bryan Brothers, not the best team ever. And I don't know what happened. We were 9-4 down in the
Wow.
champions tiebreak. And we win 13-11. Don't ask me how it happened, somehow. Yeah, we hold at the end the trophy. But it was, yeah, it's pure luck. Out of probably 1,000 matches, you win 5 of this. This is crazy. I mean, I had it a few times in my career, but this is, you can't say, yeah, that's pure luck. So I flew home the next day, and the flight completely destroyed me. I was 4 days just in bed, and then I was 2 weeks in total out. That was not healthy what I did, but I mean, final, yeah.
Unbelievable, man.
Uh,
When I think of the big picture of your story and your life and where I can relate, being a father just like you and having to switch back and forth from being the coach to being the dad to watching my kids play their own sports and not trying to coach them, but simply just trying to be their dad. So as I'm saying that, and you think of even these last couple days, watching your kids and flag football, what what is the harder situation for you, watching your guys compete for a major championship in doubles in a third set tiebreak, or watching your daughters play some flag football?
well, I mean, they're still young, right? If they would compete in a big championship, I would be for sure more nervous. This is now when I was young. Yeah, you play the tournaments, it's fun, and this obviously. The other thing is more value playing in the Grand Slam. Hurted me a lot because I know these guys can play well, but right now some things didn't work out, and we lost a close match, serving for the match even at the end. But yeah, I mean, of course, you want the best for your daughters, and then you see things, but then you have to stay. It's not your sports, you know. You're not there. You're coming from overseas, and I'm not a flag football coach, but I think what of my talent is I see very well how the court is built up, the moves and gameplays, and what you can do. I understand all the rules. Then I see, but I don't want to tell. And my daughter, yeah, but don't you think this and this? Because she knows better. And then she says, ah, Papi, no. And I said, okay, I shut up, I'm quiet.
Yes, sir.
But maybe I'm right, I'm just saying. Papa. And then, yeah, yesterday it hurted me to see my little daughter win yesterday 2 championships. And my older daughter sadly lost the both finals, and she was really down. And they played the team both. She she's 13 and she play under 13, but also under 14 because she's good. They put her under 14, but I mean, both teams they played, they are 2 classes better. 2 classes better. It's not even a close difference to win it. So I have to speak with her today and ask. We'll find out, how she feels. What is that? Because for me, they have to train better, the teams and the coaches, what I see, because why the other team is so good, what I see is athleticism. The athleticism is just another level. And so I will try today and the next days. Today they have again 2 finals, so I have to just, when the right moment is there, I try to be father, but also a little bit helping her in her decisions because they're still 13. Maybe us parents have little bit more experience in that, but I don't want to be too pushy. It's still her decision. I just want her, if she really choose the sport, like to do the sport, like probably I want that she practice with the best coaches and with a good team. If I don't see that, I will tell her, look, don't you think it's better change that and that because I want the best for my kids.
Last one for you on development. I mean, you've seen a lot, Oliver. It's unbelievable the wealth of knowledge that you are. I'm an American, developed my game in a very challenging part of the United States, intermountain, high altitude. I know you probably dealt with that in Austria,
That
but
that's tough there in Denver, I have to say. It's not easy.
right. And kind of knowing what you know now, I see this commonality taking place where whether you're a really good international player or a top American, that now the college path is something that's becoming more popular. I've been fortunate enough
Very
to have
good.
folks like Colton Smith on the podcast, who's the Hurt Award winner. He's coming up in the top 150 right now at University of Arizona. Had Tony Bresky, the head coach at Wake Forest, who has several guys that are coming up now on the tour. Is college tennis in the United States a potential path for someone like yourself if you had to do it all over again?
1,000,000%. I tell you that Benjamin Becker, one very close friend of mine, he finished Andre Agassi's career in US Open.
Yes.
He was came out of college, was top 30 after in singles. At these times, there were over 20 or 30 people from college in the top 100 already, I think. John Isner, Johnson.
Yeah.
I forget a lot now, but there's so many players, so many, and it comes more and more. Honestly, I don't want to talk bad about academies or everything. I know they're great, but from a standpoint of view, if you're a quite good player, I would go to college. I get a scholarship, I get it paid. If you're good, you get a also great coach. You can develop your game. Now the rules have changed in college, what I've heard. You can also go to tournaments. You can keep the prize money, which was before not the case.
Right.
Everything has gone better. Everything has gone better instead of if families, they're struggling. We have to be honest here. This is a very expensive sport is one of the worst sports from expenses with golf. I would send my kids to college if he's good. He or she is good. I would do that. And if you ask me now, because you asked me before the question, what would have changed, I would have finished probably my school and go to college if I know it's that good.
Built to be, that is a question that I ask anyone that I try to help on the tennis court. What are you built to be? What are you built to become? And when you reflect back on your journey, Oliver, and when this is all said and done as a coach and as a dad, and obviously your playing career has come to an end, but I'm just curious, man, if you think of everything you've done and your life being celebrated many, many years from now, how do you want people to remember you?
Well, as a genuine guy, honestly, the only farewell of my career I had in the Turin finals to 2021. I get a honoring there of my career. I was not like in Austria go around or like say, hey, yeah, I want to feel I'm here. I'm not the type who needs the fame or something like that. As I told you before, I like that people remember it more as me saying it to them, what I did. For me, I think is personality, that you're that people respect you. I think that's the most important nowadays. Is people don't respect you. It's how I learned it from my parents and my education. It's as a high value. And for myself now talking, I hope I can have some more good years. I don't know how long Martin now still plays. He needs to keep up his motivation because he win everything. He's maybe missing two more 1,000 events and the Turin finals. Then he has there's like a diamond level. It's just two or three players achieved that yet.
Wow.
So that's something special if he would catch that. But what he did already so far is amazing. And yeah, I hope I can keep him somehow motivated if he still want to continue working with me. That's another thing because I don't want to push him. For me, it's always a goal if somebody is already really good to make him still better. Always work on. And that's what I try to do with him, to add some little things which are not difficult to add because you cannot change the techniques of someone who plays already 20 years on the tour. What you want to do there? You can just help him when there's some little technical issues to tell him maybe try that and that, but to add some game plans and some better like tactics in the game, because everybody knows you on the tour. You play most of the time the same shots. You need some plan A and B, some different options. Work on that, and if the player likes it, it's perfect. So that's a goal for me, to make them better if they're already good. So that's always that's why what we've been working on the last 2 years. What I've deal with Mark there.
Being able to celebrate you on the BTB project has been an honor, man. You're a humble guy, an incredible coach. I learned so much from you when I got to spend some time with you here in Colorado. But more importantly, what you've done as a husband and a father, obviously as a player, and obviously as a coach. I tip my hat to you, and I can't thank you enough today on the BTB project.
Thanks for having me. It was fun. Thank you very much.
Awesome, man. Appreciate it.